I'm here at Bailey Park today. This is my first attempt at a proper YouTube video. And if it looks like I don't know what I'm doing, it's because I don't. So here goes.
Get on the map.
So today I'm going to fly over the old Hercules factory. This is Bailey's Pond. When I was a kid, we called this Duck's Nest. And it was a swimming hole that was used by the town. I learned how to swim here, at least partially. And when the first time I came here, my brother convinced me that this was where your water went when you flushed the toilet. So I really didn't want to go. And my mother, who had already paid for the course, made me go. And it really wasn't that bad. They did chlorinate it. It was actually very clean when I went here. After some time, it fell into disuse. And that was just used for fishing. And obviously somebody with a recreational, radio-controlled boat that looks pretty cool. So now I'm gonna leave Bailey's Pond, Duck's Nest, Bailey's Pond, and I'm gonna head over to the old Hercules site. The Hercules was a big factory in Sayreville, and I have a memory of this when I was a kid because when I was like 7 years old, my mom woke me up late at night, which I don't know what time it was, but when you're 7, it seems very late at night, to show me the sky all lit up because there had been a big explosion at the Hercules factory. Let me just line it up here. But now in retrospect, I'm glad she did it because otherwise I wouldn't be able to share this story. The Hercules factory was here for quite some time. Somewhere in the 90s, late 90s, it was sold. And then at some point they took it apart. But I found this looking on Google Maps. I could see all this dead area, all this old factory stuff, and I thought it would be cool to fly over. I did it once before a couple years ago. I'm just trying to see how much it's changed, if at all. I'm getting a strong wind warning. It's really not that windy. So a lot of trees. I know there's some power lines around here too, so I gotta stay pretty high up. The factory employed a lot of people for a long time and paid a lot of the taxes in Sayreville. So when it closed, it did leave a bit of a gap, a money gap. Everybody's property taxes probably went up a little. The other memory I have of Hercules is sometime when I was about 21 or so. It's a big explosion. I lived in Sayreville most of my life, and it just, you could feel it. And I lived a couple miles from there, And you could almost feel the explosion, and it wound up there was a big explosion up here, and unfortunately one person did die. I am shooting with a ND4 filter on, so I can get this to 120 shutter speed. I'm shooting a 4K 60 frames a second. And on a bright day today, I need something like that. I find I usually don't even have to go as high as the 8 on here. The 4 is fine. Whereas opposed to my the mini I have, when I put the filters on, I almost have to jump right to the 16 almost immediately, because you can't adjust the shutter on that one. You can on this one. I mean, you can't adjust the aperture on this one. On the mini, you can on this one. I'll get it right. You can hear the guys playing with that boat in the background. It's pretty cool. The railroad tracks came in. You can see the wires there too. This place manufactured gunpowder, smokeless gunpowder, a lot of different stuff. It was very active in World War II, very important. But that's why everything was so volatile. When it blew up, it really blew up. I'm just gonna shut the feed off for a minute because I like to take a few pictures. So I'm back on for now. The new site that took over, it's a new company. They're over there. I'm not gonna fly over there. Active factory. Sorry if I'm swinging too quick. And there's a neighborhood right behind here. Just doing a back view of the whole site. It was a big factory at the time. And there's Bailey's Pond again, aka Duck's Nest. The weird claim to fame this place has is there's a 1914 silent movie called The Juggernaut. You can find that on YouTube. But there's a train wreck scene, and the train wreck actually went from the train tracks at the other end of the pond into the pond. And then the train engine and 3 cars sat there for like 24 years. There's the train tracks it came off of until it was eventually salvaged in like 1938. And the film was made in 1914. But it was a story I always heard about growing up, and I never saw the movie till recently. I guess it was digitized and put on YouTube. You can see I'm over the pond, and the person has the remote control speedboat. It's pretty cool from up here. Let me bring it down a little. Well, that's gonna be about it for me. I'm getting my low battery warning.